roaring, stumbling and clanking towards the enemy in bellowing clouds of oily smoke, with massive iron claws snapping and heavy ranged weapons spitting death. Killa Kans are metal monstrosities created by the Orks to annihilate their foes. A Killa Kan is a type of bipedal, cybernetic Ork contraption, cobbled together from all manner of looted or scavenged bits. They would be loosely classed as a combat walker by Imperial standards. These machines are composed of a ramshackle, lightly armoured can mounted on a pair of piston-driven legs. They're armed with a variety of ranged and close combat weapons. Though relatively primitive and weak by Ork standards, they are swift and incredibly dangerous for their size, capable of overpowering lightly armoured vehicles with ease. Many unfortunate opponents have underestimated the power of these small but formidable machines. Inside each Killa Kan, the operator is not a pilot in the traditional sense, but rather a particularly ill-tempered Gretchin. Creating a Killa Kan requires the combined skills of both a mech boy and a pain boy. The unique process involves constructing the vehicle and then hardwiring a grot directly into the control systems. This crude and messy procedure is somewhat reminiscent of the technology used in the creation of a Space Marine dreadnought, though far more excruciatingly painful. The procedure not only causes immense suffering, but also significantly amplifies the aggression and savagery of the grot. Once ensconced in their new metal bodies, it's not uncommon for the grot inside to seek revenge on their former oppressors. While the Orks view this behaviour as normal and even amusing, most mechs soon realise the wisdom of fitting their Killa Kans with a handy off switch to keep them dormant between battles. Though Killa Kans share many similarities with Death Dreads, with vicious claws, chugging heavy weapons, and lumpy metal hulls, they are in many ways vastly different war machines. Killa Kans are the smaller and cruder cousins of the Death Dreads, and have fewer limbs. This difference largely stems from the fact that they are not crewed by Orks, but by grots wired into the controls. When can construction is underway, Gretchin of every size and disposition eagerly line up for the chance to exchange their picked upon, bullied, and often appallingly short lives as the Orks' dog bodies for an equally short, but far more violent and magnificent existence as a Killa Kan pilot. Although being smaller than a Death Dread, Killa Kans charge forward towards the enemy lines in jostling mobs of riveted iron and roaring saw blades. The grot pilots, utilising their relative skill with firearms, wreak havoc on anything unfortunate enough to cross their path. Ork war bosses view Killa Kans as both handy and entirely disposable shock units. These machines are sufficiently armoured to lead a charge, typically equipped with one close combat arm fitted with a massive shear blade claw, buzzsaw or rotary drill, and another arm wielding a heavy, short-ranged weapon such as a rocket, scorcher or shooter. Despite their primitive design, Killa Kans can inflict considerable damage, even against heavily armoured opposition. They often prove to be better shots than their impatient Ork cousins, and will manage to hit their mark more often. A notable advantage is that any can wrecked or destroyed in battle can easily be salvaged and recycled into more Killa Kans, as there is never a shortage of willing Gretchin pilots. However, the primary drawback is that even a massive, armoured, piston-driven grot remains, at its core, a grot. Despite their newfound power, grots can often be cowardly, skittish, and easily distracted, lacking the psychotic, often suicidal sense of invulnerability that most Orks have when wired into a Death Dread. The grots still believe in safety in numbers, and have been known to panic under fire. It's not uncommon for Killa Kans to waddle about in circles, amble about seeking refuge, or freeze up entirely at the first sign of danger. To mitigate this inherent cowardice, mech boys wisely deploy Killa Kans in small mobs to bolster their courage. The possibility of wandering off or betraying their comrades to escape danger is significantly reduced when their mob is at full strength. When facing down weakened or vulnerable enemies, the Grot's natural vicious streak emerges. These overpowered little gits take great pleasure in gunning down, burning, crushing and slicing anything that appears to be an easy target, reveling in their newfound destructive capabilities.